Hi family, it's Dawn with Dawn's Light. Thanks for tuning in to another Wow Wednesday, your Word of Wisdom Wednesday. And I hope you noticed I have a little change in my environment this weekend. I'm super excited. I came up with my own little special boss lady, girl boss chick environment, and I'm pretty excited about it. My son gave me a hard time because I said it was a girly room, choosing colors like pink and sparkly gold and even some fur and sequins. I was very excited to do this room, having had two boys in my life growing up. I raised two young men. One of them just recently moved out, which voila, gave me this space. And then my husband. So the past 24 years, I basically lived with all men. Even my dog is a man. So I've always made a pretty neutral environment for all of them, wanting everyone to feel comfortable. But now I've got my space, and it basically says get out unless you're a girl. Anyway, it was fun for me, so I'm encouraged. But that's not why we're here. It's Wow Wednesday, and I wanted to share something with you. First of all, if you tuned in last week, you remember that I talked about it was a rough week. Thank you for those of you who were praying for me and those of you who sent your well wishes. It was a hard week for some friends of mine, and that made it a very hard week for me as well. But I talked about having the faith of a mustard seed, and then lo and behold, this Monday at work, in our devotional, the woman who was doing the devotional, who had not seen my Wednesday, also did the devotional on the mustard seed, and she gave all of us these pretty little jars. You can't really see it. It's almost like a teardrop shape, and inside it, you can't hear it, is a little mustard seed. She did her devotional on the mustard seed and having faith as strong as that. So that was just, confirmation from the Lord for me. So anyway, thank you, Miss Alice. Now this week, my Wow Wednesday is coming to you compliments of my mom. She reached out to me and had a little revelation moment and thought it would be something good to share, and I agreed. So since Mother's Day is coming up and I love my mama, I'm going to share this for her. So we were talking about sin and just how sin takes us off the path that God has for us, how we can get distracted. And it reminded me of the fact that, if you don't know, I was in the military, and I enjoyed my time in the military. I spent 8 years. And one of the cool things that I get to boast about that I really enjoy is the fact that I was an expert marksman on the rifle. Expert, okay? I didn't just qualify with a rifle. I didn't just shoot like 20 something out of 40, whatever qualification was, because I don't know what that number was. I was expert, which means I had to get past a certain number. And I don't remember if my number was that mark or not, but I know that I scored 36 out of 40 on the rifle range. 36 out of 40 targets, I hit them dead center. And the 300 meter target, which was the furthest one out, would look like this little tiny head popping out of the sand. And that was really one of the ones that I was best at hitting. So that's my little, boasting moment. So I always say, don't mess around with me. You give me a gun, somebody gonna get hurt. I don't like guns. Don't have to worry about that. But anyway, the word sin, I was talking about it with my mom, actually means to miss the mark. Sin, missing the mark. And in Hebrews 12, 1 and 2, basically it says, let us throw off anything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author or pioneer of our faith and the perfecter. Thank you. The author and perfecter of our faith. So Jesus in his word tells us right there that this race that we're on has already been marked out for us. And if you've ever run a race, you know the only way that you're gonna make it to the finish line and actually be qualified in that race is if you actually follow the path that's been marked out for you and cross that finish line. So why do we think it's any different when it comes to following Christ, to living as a believer, to having the goal to live an abundant life, a fulfilled life, and have eternal salvation with Christ? We have to do the same thing. Get on the path that's already been laid for us, that's been marked out. That means there's signs, there are edges, there are corners, there are turns, but it's all outlined for us. So run with perseverance the race that's already been marked out for you. But in order to finish it, you're going to have to fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. With my rifle, I had to always make sure that my sight was set perfectly, or else I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't hit my target. We always checked our sight prior to going out to the rifle range, prior to going out into any kind of weapons demonstration or display. And I'm sure, had I ever gone to war, I would have always made sure that my sight was aligned perfectly, or I would be shooting and not hitting what I'm looking at. So just like goal setting, and I know a lot of you out there are big on your goal settings, it tells you got to have a specific message, and we've talked about that. You have to have a specific goal in order to hit it. Well, in Christianity, or in trying to live an abundant life, what is your goal? If it's to get to heaven, to cross that race, then make sure you're on the right path, because there is only one that's going to lead to where you're trying to go. And while you're out there, you may see a whole lot of detours, but don't get distracted. Follow the leader, and then you'll get there. Jesus is the author, perfecter, and finisher of our faith. And if we are not dead set and focused on Him, there's no telling where we're going to end up. Actually, the Bible's clear about where we will end up. And that's not where you want to go. So our encouragement from my mom and from me is for you to fix your sight. Get it on Jesus, the author, pioneer, and perfecter of your faith, so that you will also be able to cross the finish line and win the race. I was an expert in the military. I'm definitely working on being an expert marksman in my faith. Only way that's going to happen is to keep my eyes and my sight set on Christ. I hope you got something from that today. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, if there's anything you want to hear from me, anything you want to discuss, hit me up. My website is here. You can send me an email at dawnslight@gmail.com or my website, www.dawnslight.org. Or we're probably on Facebook right now. Go ahead and shoot me a message. Or on YouTube, I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe bar and subscribe to my page, or just send me a message. Whatever you want to do, I'm here. Looking forward to speaking with you. Thanks so much. I really do hope you got something out of this week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week on another Wow Wednesday. Bye, family.